Hi
Hi
guys, how
there.
are you?
Hello,
Not bad.
gentlemen.
How's everyone's week started? All good?
Not,
It's
not
good.
too bad.
It's good.
Good, good. So, Scott, on my screen, you can probably see my Northern Alliance fleet is now finished, all but a few flyers. It's
Cool.
got an ice elemental
Nice.
and, if it'll focus, a chimera.
Cool.
Nice. That looks cool.
So yeah, definitely up for a game soon. So
Nice.
just let a few guys join us. I think we've got about 7 or 8 guys in the chat at the moment. So hopefully I can see what's going on. I'm just going to wave to a couple of people.
I'm going to say hello to one of my former students, good kid Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of my students, or I think one of the teachers. I can't tell from I can't tell from the icon or the. Hey,
Yeah.
there's some people from our gaming group here in Egypt that's here too. That's awesome.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. So for those that don't know, in the chat, I am Head School. You'll hear me referred to as Dave because that is my real name. And I'm from Iron School Gaming. You've also got Scott from Palette of War, who is one of our studio painters as well. And we also are joined with our special guest, Damien, which is Scholar de War Paints. Is that correct? Yeah.
It's actually Scholar D Warpaint Studios.
Right, there we go. Yeah. So for those that don't know, that's who all of us are. We're going to have a chat tonight for about an hour, and we'll kind of get to know what we're all up to and what we're all doing.
Yeah.
As I say, obviously in front
right
you
now.
can see, yeah. So there's a few things I want to cover tonight, but the main thing is we're going to try and hear from Damien and see what he's up to and talk about his YouTube channel and stuff like that. Scott, I want you to talk us through what you're up to. As I see, there's some interesting stuff on your desk at the moment. And I also want to talk about a really fantastic opportunity that's landed Iron School Gaming's way in the form of the new Wargames Atlantic The Damned, which is coming to GameFound very soon. Literally through my door arrived a pre-production 3D print of what will become a plastic set if GameFound goes well for them. So I'll show that off as well. So if we start with myself, so this week I've been doing a little bit of commission work, and I've also been working through my fleet for Kings of War Armada, which is by Mantic Games. On the screen now is a Northern Alliance fleet with the biggest of the vessels just here.
No, it's not a Drake though.
It's not a Drake. No, this is a Vermilion.
So,
we also have stuff like this guy, which is a large vessel. I don't know if you can see the bases. They're kind of cool as well.
I love the water bases, the water effects.
So this is a clear acrylic base that I've used Pacific Blue Water Gel by AK. It's a couple of layers stippled on, and it gives you a texture, but you can also see through. If I go looking for something pale, if I put this behind it, you can kind of see it's semi-translucent.
I use the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And then it's got the sea foam around the front and rear of the vessel and the sides there. So Scott's used the same thing, but have you used yours on a MDF base?
I used on the MDF base that was provided.
Yeah. It works really well on both. It just gives you a slightly different effect, but really do think those water gel and water effects are really good from their diorama series.
Well,
Um,
I didn't find out about the acrylic ones until after I based mine, so I was upset.
right, yeah. Well, I kind of based mine on MDF to paint them, and then I had to cut them off, which was a pain. But I think they've turned out all right. So, and I love you the way yours have turned out, Scott. They're fantastic, really are. So,
Well,
yeah. And like I say, falling through my door, if I clear these off the desk very quickly, it was an opportunity from War Games Atlantic and Mini Wargaming, which they're going to be running a Game Found campaign for a new series of miniatures for their I'm trying to think what the name is now, for their Deathfields collection of miniatures, which includes grognards and things like that, and that's the Damned, or as those that are like Games Workshop games may remember, Renegade Guardsmen. So I have one of their brutes, which is an
Nice.
Ogryn. So this will eventually become one of the possible builds from a plastic kit that they're going to release. There's normal Renegade Guardsmen coming for that range as well. There is also a vehicle, which will be the first War Games Atlantic vehicle they've ever made, and also heavy weapons teams. So literally, you can do a Renegade Guardsman army if you want. And I think is absolutely stunning. Some of the details, and I've seen the work that the guys from Cult of Paint have done on the official colour scheme for them, and it's truly astonishing. So the fact that they got in touch with me and said, look, we want to send you something, could you have a go at painting it and showcasing it and stuff, I thought that was really, really fantastic. So, but honestly, the sculpts, and there's several different heads, different weapon options. There's absolutely tons of stuff that's coming for this range through Game Found. I think it goes live on Game Found at the end of this month. It's like 25th, 26th. So yeah, the next week, hopefully by next week's live, I should have this painted up and that on the live as well as up on the page. So we'll see what happens and what colours I go with. Any suggestions, guys? The official colour scheme is red fatigues and a grey-black dark metallic armour. I'm tempted to go with greys and dirty blacks and things like that. So grey fatigues or black fatigues and grey armour.
I'll be thinking greys and blues.
Yeah, greys and blues sound good. I like the idea of the red fatigues. Yeah. Definitely a nice, dirty, brown, almost black oil wash would be great on that.
Yeah,
that would come out too. Really amazing.
I think the quality of how these have turned out, like the sculpts, are really, really nice. They've got loads of detail, and when I saw them, it just literally took me back to Games Workshop days, reading about the different types of renegade cults and stuff like that, and cult militia if you're a Horus Heresy fan. So I think these are probably going to do really well.
Man down.
Oh no.
Yeah, got a man down. All right. Oh, just got another guy that went down. The heck? Everything's falling apart. One thing I learned about resin when you're... Oh, another man down. What the hell? Everything's falling apart tonight. All my guys are blowing up their bases. What is going on here?
I know, right?
I think it's like performance anxiety or something, maybe.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
oh my God, I'm trying.
So that's me. So that's me really for the past week or so. As I say, recap: Northern Alliance fleet for Armada, a couple of commission pieces which I need to get photographed and then get the okay before I show them off. And as I say, the package from War Games Atlantic / miniwargaming.com dropping through the door, which was absolutely awesome. Scott, let's move on to you. What have you been up to?
Commission work again. So just finished another unit of moose. I've gone way different on this one.
Mhm.
So.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
His previous was he wanted
the white and
like
yellow.
white and yellow.
Yeah.
It was working, but I was struggling getting the contrast. And this time I switched it up in the last 10. I'm going for the full albino banana snake.
Yeah.
And that's working really well on that. I'm happy with them ones and then the other ones. So yeah, so just 5 of them. The Daughters of Cain commission. And then I've now got my Ogre Kings of War Army ambush list built now.
All right, yeah.
So I've got 2 troops of goblins on flea bags.
Yeah.
So there's 10 of them in total.
They're the scouts, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they're the scouts. Yeah, with the pointy sticks.
Yeah.
I've got an Ogre Warlord boss. I can't remember what it's called. It is Warlord, isn't it?
Yeah. Or Chieftain or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Then I've done just finished gluing together the Warlock, which I'm also
He's a beautiful miniature.
Yeah, I'll show you the other one in a minute. Then I built 4 boomers. I've used one of the new sprues. So I've got like a leader. I'm having 2 on each back.
Unit champ.
One of the old ones. And then on the other one, to distinguish from it, I put one of the new heads on the old Ogre. And the heads swap over really well. So I've got 2 units of the boomers built. And then I've done the same for the warriors. Got one of the new ones. I've used the female bodies to distinguish the leaders.
Yeah.
And then the other warrior.
So are you telling me that your ogres are being led by female unit leaders?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes about the right sense. Yeah, I think so.
They're the angriest out of all. And then
they are
for the warrior. Then I'll put another one of the new heads on the warrior.
Yeah.
So that's my ogres ambush list build. Just needs basing and painting.
Yeah.
But then I've also been working on my Warlock for Death by Blood.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's gorgeous, mate.
Yeah. I think I need to tone the flesh down a bit just to use like a water down a wash a bit just to bring it back a bit. I think.
Yeah.
Gone too high, I think. And then tonight I'll be back on my Marauders that I whipped Dave's ass at last week with from the first game.
Yeah. He hasn't mentioned anything about that, you know.
Is he not?
No, not really. No.
Did he not tell you that I got 16 victory points by the end of turn 2?
No, he didn't. No.
He's not told you that?
Wow, that's... No, he didn't tell me that. He's keeping that secret, I think.
Yeah, I did outnumber a bit, though. I had 10 models to his 5.
Yeah, but he's a space dwarves, you know, in crazy armour and all that kind of stuff.
They hit ridiculous, them dwarfs do.
I know they do, yeah. I had the pleasure of, in Firefight, having a go against them, and yeah, they do hit hard.
But as he'll tell you, they don't hit as hard as my Goblin Sniper.
No. I've heard about the Goblin Sniper. That's the only thing he's told me about it.
Right. And all them Goblin Snipers you got, I need them.
Yeah.
Because if you get the Goblin Sniper at the highest point, so you got your 3 slots standard.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't move, you can use Sniper Scope, which gives you a long shoot action, which gives you 2 additional attack dice. So that puts you up to 5.
Yeah.
If you've got Clear Shot, that's another 2, so you're on 8. On 7. And then if you've got line of sight, if you get the line of sight thing on as well, you're up to 8 shots just off a goblin.
Wow. You do know that in the Mantic Games Vault subscription, this month, which I do have, there are 3D sculpts ready to be 3D printed for Goblin Snipers, don't you?
I'm going to have a whole firefight fleet of Goblin Snipers.
You are, yes, yeah, yeah. We're gonna be infested with goblins.
So my Marauder army is suddenly turning into a Goblin Sniper army.
Yeah. I mean, I could think of worse things. And if you can hear a strange noise in the background, that is the ice cream van going around. You can't miss
So
this
we're all
when
going
it's
to take a
dark.
pause now and just run outside.
Yeah. Excuse me, I'll be back in a second. Comes back with Cornetto or something like that, yeah, or Magnum. But yeah, he drives around and he's got like flashy lights on the ice cream wagon and everything. It's crazy. So can't miss him. Anything else, Scott?
That's pretty much it, really.
I just didn't want to rush on and move on if you still had loads to tell us. So
no. Like I said, I finished basing up my Armada fleet.
yeah.
Then just my commission. Then building the ogres and back onto my what's it? So yeah, that's my lot. This
Okay
week
then.
so far.
A good productive week then.
Yeah.
And so if we move on to Damien, it is Damien, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Move on to Damien. Do you want to tell us about like everything really? Tell us who you are, what you do in the hobby, what you've been up to this week, all that kind of stuff. We'll just really hand over to you and tell us more about you.
Well, I'm an American expat living in Cairo. I moved here about 10 years ago.
Nice.
Came out here for. I tell people like kind of like professionally. I tell them I came out here for a job, but I really came out here for actual like kind of like a romantic reason.
Yeah.
Because in New York, I was working at a school, and the school had let me go. And my best friend, who is Egyptian, went to her on the phone, and she was like, "We got to come to Egypt. We need teachers very badly. Great opportunity. Why don't you come out here?" So I came out here and ended up marrying my best friend.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up in Cairo, and I've been here for 10 years, happily, enjoying the culture out here, enjoying the people out here. Yeah. And in the beginning, I wasn't doing a lot of gaming.
No.
But then I started introducing my son to like miniature gaming and card gaming, and he was always into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually kind of popular here. Yeah. And then eventually got him into Dungeons and Dragons, and from there it kind of took off after that. He started really getting into other things. But then, as he's a teenager now, going in college, actually, now he's almost done with college. Yeah. Got another year left. He is getting more into like video games and stuff like that, but I started finding more and more people around here that play Dungeons and Dragons, and then there's a lot of people that games and kind of like board game cafes here, and we found a store that's like a hobby shop back home selling and Pokemon cards and stuff like that, and they have like tournaments, and we started introducing miniature gaming there, and that's what led to us eventually starting a business recently, and we're kind of like going through like the pre-business push and the pre-business start. So we're testing the market, we're showing people what's out there, introducing to some gaming, and just kind of testing the market and seeing what's going on. And there's a lot of people, believe it or not, that really do want to play, really want to play like miniature games. And the thing is, a lot of them just don't have access to Games Workshop material, or if they do, it's kind of pricey to get it shipped here to Egypt, especially with customs.
Yeah.
It's pricey over here as well.
I can imagine. Yeah, so a lot of people are getting into 3D printers. I got myself a 3D printer, and I have it in my studio, so I've been using it for work purposes, for my own studio, for painting and collaborations and creations and dioramas. Yeah. And my own gaming. And a friend of mine, actually, two friends of mine got together with me, and one of them was able to bring us printers from abroad. And now we set up shop in one of our houses to create kind of like a workshop. And we're going to start producing miniatures, licensed miniatures through a couple companies, and we're going to be playing games like One Page Rules, where it's
Yep.
like miniature agnostic, and just the rules are free to download. So that's what we're kind of sticking with right now.
So, on that note, obviously you can see we do a lot of stuff with Mantic Games.
Yes.
They have a thing called a companion. They have a thing called the companion app, and on it, for a basic free subscription, you get free rules and the ability to build an army list or two for one of their games. And then they have a subscription all the way up to the full gold subscription, which is £5.99, so £5 British 99 pence for a month. And that gives you all of their game systems, the rule books themselves on there digitally, so that you can physically put in a search term and it'll come back with, you know, the page from the rule book and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite a good tool. But then on the main selling point is the games themselves are miniature agnostic. Even in their official tournaments, they're miniature agnostic. Obviously, they'll award an extra point or two usually for painting a fully painted army, but it is, you know, totally legal, if you like, to use whatever company's miniatures you want, or 3D printed or whatever. They don't frown upon it. They just want people playing their games. So it's definitely one worth looking at, especially if you are 3D printing.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing they've done is they've launched the Mantic Vault, which is a subscription service for 3D prints. There isn't currently a commercial license, but they are saying, you know, if you've not got a printer yourself, ask your friends or a local business to print for you. And each month there's a welcome pack, as you'd imagine, and then each month they add more stuff to the range. So currently you can get free ships for Armada just by signing up, and there's a plan to roll out those Armada ships that you saw, and, you know, the Uncharted Empires, if you remember those, that kind of themed game. All the fleets will eventually be available through the download to, you know, print at home yourself. So that might be worth looking into.
Yeah, definitely.
What else can I tell you? But if you wanted to go for the whole subscription, they're currently running an early bird offer, which will be a lifetime guarantee subscription fee. So if you are a gold level companion app subscriber, so that's £5.99. The gold level or platinum level, whatever they're calling it, the top tier for 3D printing is only an extra £3.99. So for under £10 you can get an app which allows you to run tournaments, rank globally, an app that allows you to write army lists. There's an unlimited army list when you're paying for the subscription for all of their games, the rule books, all of that's included, as well as articles on how to build, paint, etc. And all the 3D printing stuff.
That's
and
fantastic.
I apologise for the disease-ridden girlfriend in the background sneezing away. But
oh, don't say that. I hope she feels better.
she knows I'm only ribbing. So,
Ah,
but yeah, I mean, for under £10. Honestly, I'm just like blown away by it. And yes, that is an early bird price, so it is worth jumping on the bandwagon early while that's still there. But honestly, for under £10, you're getting not just a subscription for digital sculpts, which are official. In fact, they sell them as resin upgrades and things like that for their plastic kits, as well as what they would normally sell as resin individual miniatures. So it's really, really worthwhile having a look at. I really do suggest, and their games are very easy to get into as well. And like I say, hit us up with any questions and stuff, because we're really on a Mantic push at the moment for our own hobbies, and it's really reignited the passion for the hobby.
Oh, yeah,
That's really awesome.
Was it just over 3 weeks to go till we're demoing at the NEC for Mantic?
Yes, the NEC is the National Exhibition Centre. It's a really big exhibition centre with loads of halls and stuff, so they have some of the biggest shows and things there over the course of the year. And yeah, the expo, the Games Expo, is one of the biggest gaming, if not the biggest gaming conventions in the UK. And I say gaming because wargaming, of course, is kind of the Salute show in London. But yeah, this is everything. This is role-playing games, this is card games, board games, the whole tournaments and everything there. So it's fantastic. But that's enough of me talking. I just thought I'd, while you were talking about miniature agnostic stuff and the ability to play lots of different games with miniatures you can print and stuff, it was worth mentioning. It's worth having a look at what Mantic offer at the moment. And if you need any help and advice with it, you can hit us up and we'll help you out, right? So, but back over to you. Tell us more.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's about it with me. Like, that's how I got into hobbying here in Egypt. But I'm an old school hobbyist. I've been painting stuff since the early '90s.
Yeah.
I've been into modeling, like scale models and stuff like that. My parents used to buy me models from Revell, like the old Star Trek, starships and stuff like that, and a couple. Being a kid, you see a couple cool cars, you see a couple cool jet planes. You want to get those.
Yeah.
Some of them ended up being built, and some of them were not. I still have quite a few Star Trek models I never finished and never did. And I just kept them sealed up and put away. I figured one of these days I'll pop them out and use them just for fun. Maybe even do like a video for them. But yeah, like I'm an old school gamer. Like the first miniature game I ever got into was BattleTech, and before I got the miniatures, my friend and I would play his box BattleTech game, and we get the little cardboard cutout mechs and put them on little plastic stands. Yeah, and that's how I. So then I started buying like some of the BattleTech miniatures. And then I got into a little game called Babylon 5, or Call to Arms, or not Call to Arms. It was back then. It was Fleet Wars.
Fleet. I remember it.
So I got into that. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a fun game. Bit of more of a card gamer than anything else, like into Magic and stuff like that.
Yeah. Favorite color?
That sucked away a lot of my money.
Favorite Magic color deck?
Oh God, I love all of them really, pretty much, but I would have to go with actually I have to go with black. I really love playing mono black decks.
I'm a massive fan of the zombie build.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah. I just finished building a commander deck that's all zombies.
Oh, sorry.
But it's not mono black.
My commander deck is all zombies. My commander deck is all zombies. So yeah. But there's some nice. I think it's red zombies now, whereas I am a mono black player normally. It's either red or blue. I can't remember. I just remember one of my friends saying, "You need to stop playing mono black. You need to start adding some colours to it because there's some really good zombies." But I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Magic is a big
kind of negativity in life.
Yeah, Magic was one of my big draws to the hobby of gaming in general. Obviously, role playing and all that kind of stuff was massive, but yeah, Magic was a big draw. So yeah, that's cool to hear. And yeah, I played Babylon 5 and stuff like that, which was always fun to play. Never a boring game. Yeah. Never a boring game.
Oh God, yeah. Actually, I got into the Call to Arms series. When that came out, when Mongoose Publishing published that, I jumped on that really hard, and that's how I met one of my dearest and closest friends, this friend of mine, Bill. And what happened was I would go to our local gaming store. It was a gaming store actually on the way to college, and I pop in and I see what was available. And every time I pop in, the guy was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, we don't have much here. Bill came in and pretty much cleaned us out."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And then I go in again. I'd be like, "When are you going to get more?" And he's like, "Oh, we'll get it in like next week or the week after." I'm like, "All right, please hold some stuff for me. I'm looking for, the main fleets. I'm not looking for like the League of Non-Aligned Worlds. Like I don't want Dilgar and stuff like that. I want like Narn. I want like Earth Alliance." He's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll help you out." And then I come in again and be like, "Ah, you just missed Bill. He bought everything out." I'm like, "Seriously? You guys are not going to hold anything for me?" And then fast forward to me 1 year getting into the convention circuit. There was this convention I used to work for that had 2 conventions a year. It was a company. And my first convention, I go into the wargaming room and I set up at a table and I'm pulling out all my Babylon 5 stuff. And all of a sudden, this guy comes in with a bellhop and he's got a huge like luggage cart filled with like boxes of packed minis. And he's saying hi to everybody. He's super friendly. And he pays the bellhop and he gets all the stuff down. He looks over and he goes, "Oh, you play Babylon 5?" Like, "Yeah, I'm running some games this convention." He's like, "Oh, cool, me too. We'll sit up next to each other." I'm like, "Sure, that sounds great. What's your name?" He's like, "My name's Bill." I'm like, "You son of a..." It's just like, "It's you."
It's you. You're the
And he
one
was like,
that stole all
"Yeah,
my
exactly."
purchases. Yes.
He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "What? Me? What did I do?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're the one who keeps buying stuff from the store." And he's like, "Oh, you're Damien." And I'm like, "Yes, it's me, Damien, your arch nemesis." And,
Oh, that's
and that weekend
brilliant.
started a lifelong friendship. He's family to me now. So
That's brilliant. Well, I do apologise, everyone, for the wobbly cam. I keep hitting the arm that's supporting it. Sorry, I do apologise.
don't worry about it. The back of my brush keeps hitting my camera.
I've got a new arm coming for the phone at the moment. I'm using like one of those flexi ones. So literally, if I even breathe on it too heavily, it kind of wobbles around. So, and I don't want my the group of guys that are watching this to feel seasick. So,
Taking Dramamine before the painting video of the live stream.
That's it. They'll be like, "Oh my God, I never watch this again." I'm just, yakking up every 5 seconds. It's just terrible. But yeah, so one of the things that I know that you're really passionate about at the moment is the Silver Bayonet. Now, I've read a little bit about it. One of my friends is trying to get me into it. So tell us more.
There's not much for me to tell you guys. I mean, like, I'm still new to it also. I'm looking over the rule book. I watched a couple of videos from a channel called Guerrilla Wargaming or something like that?
Guerrilla Miniature Games?
Yeah, those guys are fun.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Like, the guy is a lot of fun. I've checked out some of his Frostgrave videos and some other videos.
Yeah.
So I checked out some gameplay and I just thought it was really interesting. I just love the concept of a Napoleonic Gothic horror, like literally Gothic, because it's like, concepts of Gothic are, sometimes like Victorian and whatnot, and it really appealed to me. I was like, this is just something really interesting.
Yeah.
So I just jumped to the chance to check it out and play it.
Yeah, so from
system.
memory, it's a good game system, is what my friend tells me, and that's the big selling point for me. There's no point in playing a game that you don't enjoy, and that's kind of why, in honesty, I've gone off the Games Workshop run of games at the moment. They just don't do it for me. And I'm next Games Workshop store manager. I also worked in the Warhammer World Studios over in Nottingham, creating their big dioramas and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, as a massive, I literally started in the hobby in 1988. I used to build Airfix kits, which are a bit like the Revel kits, if you've not heard them, but they're military, or at least they were back in the day, just military. So like World War II and stuff like that. And every Sunday on our Channel 4 over here, there would be, in the afternoon after the reruns of like Lost in Space and Land of the Giants and stuff like that, they would play either a World War II movie or a Western. And if my dad wanted to watch it and not do anything with us at that time, he'd break out an Airfix kit for us to build. So me and my brother would sit building that, and then we'd invited a lad who just moved to the village that we lived in to come around and kind of fetch us to go out and play. I'm talking, I was 8 years old at the time, so he came around, and when he saw what we were doing, he said, "Oh, if you like this, wait a minute, you'll like what I do." And he came back with a very early White Dwarf, and in it there was a picture of a John Blanche diorama of orcs cascading down a mountainside. And I just went, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do orcs. I want to play fantasy stuff. So that's what got me into the hobby. I shopped at a local shop here called Spirit Games, which unfortunately is now closed. But I shopped there buying whatever miniatures I could get my hands on that were orcs and goblins, whether that be Ralpartha or whether that be any of the other plethora of other miniature manufacturers that they imported from the States, including Reaper. And that was my start to the hobby. And then in 2004, I joined Games Workshop and became a store manager in the local town. Did that for about 5 years. And then, I've done pretty much everything you can imagine, including working for Warlord Games as their HQ store manager and stuff like that. So I've been around in the hobby, shall we say. But for me, that was kind of the entry point, like yourself. Yeah, but that's kind of like, that's what got me into it. So it's surprising, I think, for a lot of my friends to hear me say Games Workshop games just don't do it for me anymore. But the truth is, they don't. They've become very rule heavy. You're carrying around literally a library of books to play your game. And I know there are promises with 40k 10th edition to dial that back, but they made exactly the same promises with 8th edition, and I'm just not sure it'll last. So maybe I'll be wrong, but for me it was finding something that I like the miniatures for, but also that I get a chance to play a game which I enjoy playing, and we're really enjoying the Mantic Games offering at the moment. Warlord Games does also have a really good offering of games. They've got a game called Conflict 47, which I'm really passionate about, which is a weird World War II game. It's got all your usual tropes. It's got zombies, it's got werewolves, vampires, all that kind of stuff. Loads of steampunk mechas and things. So, but then alongside that, you've got your World War II vehicles and troops, because the year's 1947 and the war's continued. It's so they do a lot of games that are really good as well. And obviously we're doing Armada, and the original rule set that Armada's based off is the Black Seas by Warlord Games, which is a Napoleonic naval warfare game. So I can see, I can see where you're coming from with your Silver Bayonet. If it's a game with a good system, it's big up on my agenda to try out and have a look at. But on the front of Mantic Games and their nice miniatures, coming up on the screen now is my Corruption for the Plague.
Nice. That looked cool. I like that. I like that. That's purple, right? That's like a. I just want to make sure I'm not seeing it incorrectly. That looks really good. I love the different shades of purple on there.
Yeah, there's even a purpley grey tone in the flesh there. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I can see it. There's like a purpley tone in the flesh as well. So, and then blood and gore because they're smashing through stuff. So.
What's nice is that the blood and gore actually complements the colors really nicely.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it did. It was a bit of a what's the term? A bit of a butt clenching moment when I first started applying the gore, because you can go too heavy with gore and things, and it ruins the look. But I think it's turned out all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So carry on about Silver Bayonet. I'll keep interrupting. I do apologise.
No, it's good. It's very, no, I love it. We're having a conversation. We're hanging out. This is the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
point of it. But so going into like what I'm working on, because you said like what are we working on over the week? I'm
yeah,
actually working on. I've got my fingers in several different pies,
yeah,
which actually sounds kind of naughty, but at the same time it's true.
yeah.
I'm working on some awesome training. Living here in Egypt, I get access to some stuff sometimes. I went to like a marketplace with a friend of mine, so I picked
Yeah.
up some of these really awesome looking Egyptian
Oh wow, they're
knickknacks at
brilliant.
tourist buy.
Yeah,
So this is a candlestick. So I actually painted it black. It was originally like a brown wood color, and
yeah,
and so I'm going to underpaint it from below with like a
yeah,
purple, and then
yeah.
overpaint it from the top with like a turquoise, and then I'm going to hot glue gun these little plastic gems together.
Oh
I
yeah,
managed to
yeah,
form them into a perfect point and just kind of shove them on the top and then glue them on the top after I'm done painting it. So it's got like, so it looks like a power source or something like that. Because these are
yeah,
for, this train's for my Thousand Suns
yeah.
that I play. And so I've got that in the back burner. On the video series I think you guys saw on YouTube, I'm working
Yeah,
on this lovely
yeah,
guy. I have to do his power sword in his face
yeah.
and just do some touch-ups on him, and then I'll finish that up. I'm going to try doing a couple of separate different videos.
First army
I'm
I
working
ever
on
did
some
for
Lord of the Rings.
40k.
Huh?
First time I did for 40k was Dark Angels. He was one of my favourite characters back in the day
Oh,
to
nice.
paint. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great miniature. A friend of mine got into 40K. Actually, one of the guys that's working with me in the business, and he handed me the pewter stuff because he was like, I can't stand pewter. I like the plastic more. Here, why don't you
yeah.
paint this? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll definitely do that. So, and I told him, I was like, you could always take it back if you ever want it back. He's like, no, you keep it, hold on to it. And I was like, all right. So yeah, I love it's a fun piece to paint. I do like some painting some of the older stuff, but I forgot being someone that paints a lot of plastic nowadays. I forgot how difficult it is to paint lead. It is
Oh yes, yeah.
definitely a little bit of a pain in the butt. It really, really is. So I'm painting
So,
those, and then for, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say the first Games Workshop model I ever painted was a lead Dark Angels Deathwing Terminator.
Nice.
I just went into the local hobby shop and I saw it, and I went, I actually went in to buy a Airfix Spitfire, and then I came out with a Deathwing Terminator.
As you do, as you do. Yeah.
Didn't know anything about the game.
No.
Just saw the model. I'm like, I'm having that. And then told my mates at school about it, and then it turned out that he had all the white ones and everything. So, and then it turned out that my best mate at school was already got all the magazines and the books, and was into the game. And I didn't even know, and I went and bought the model from the model shop just because I wanted to paint it.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So,
And
in
then I'm
honesty,
also
we all
working
seem
on
to have a
commission.
very. Sorry, I was going to say, it sounds like we almost had, the same sort of start in the hobby for all of us, all three of us.
Yeah.
Doing scale models and then finding, our hobby mojo with wargaming. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I always love when people get together like this, and finding, like, even people are like total strangers, but they have a common, like, geekish, interest, and it just brings everyone together. Like going to a movie theater at midnight for a showing. You don't know anybody in the theater, but you all love this particular movie or genre, and everyone just gets along. And I always love that. That happens at conventions and games too.
It does, yeah.
So I'm also working on some commission work. So I'm working on these lovely pieces for a game called Wild Descent for a friend of mine. He went into the Kickstarter hard. And he actually even got a miniature done by him. Like, he helped design a miniature as part of the Kickstarter goals.
Yeah.
So this is the one though, but this is just one of the coolest ones that I'm painting right now. It's like this chimera kind of freakish monster here. So I'm working on this guy and a whole bunch of other guys trying to get that commission done for him. And then somebody here on Instagram contacted me. We were talking about my painting, and he was showing me some of the stuff he's working on. He was actually painting up and not painting. I'm sorry. He was designing for 3D printing proxies for Nazgul and Ring Wraiths for Lord of the Rings Miniature Battle game. And his name is Dark Lord Miniatures. And so we were talking, and he gave me
mate,
an
they're gorgeous.
Yeah, aren't they great? They're beautiful.
They are.
And he gave me this little
stunning.
bad boy. He gave me this,
Oh,
this
beautiful.
little bad boy here. Yeah. So I'm going to paint him up.
Totally
sadly,
jealous. Totally jealous.
Sadly, I stopped the printing right here at the tip of the spear because I thought there was an accident because the horse didn't print. And what's hilarious is that there's like the point here is supposed to be on top of the spear. But what was hilarious is when I went upstairs to look at the print and see what was going on, all I saw were 4 horse legs sticking out of the resin. So it looked like the horse drowned. I was like, oh my God. So I immediately stopped it, and I realized that everything else was perfect. I could have let it keep going, which I should have done, and I could have gotten the spear done perfectly, but I stopped it because I got worried. I was like, oh, crud. So, so I stopped it, but then I realized it could have kept going. But it's a beautiful piece. So I'm going to paint this up for him. I'm going to do a video on YouTube for it and help him and promote him a little bit. And I'm actually going to do a base. I got this from a friend of mine. It's part of a Reaper. I think this was Bones, I think.
Yeah, the Reaper Bones. Yeah,
Bones.
it looks like Bones.
Actually, no, I think this was Bones 2, I think, or Bones 4, the gray one, not the white one.
Yeah.
So, so I got this beautiful base here, which looks really awesome. And, you know, being in Egypt, there's a lot of construction around here, so there's a lot of construction debris, and also marble is very, very widely found. So I usually find these lovely pieces of marble that are just left over, so I clean them up and I use them for basing materials or part of a basing or diorama. So I'm actually going to glue this sucker on here. I'm going to paint this like a sickly kind of dark turquoise, almost to a green, like kind of like the Witch King when he's coming out of Angmar, when the fire shoots up, and that's when like Gandalf knows it's going to happen. So I'm going to set it up on this, and he's going to sit on top of it. Oops, you get the idea.
Yeah, no, that's going to look fantastic. It really is.
Yeah. So I thought that would look really good on his Instagram and on his website for his stuff. So that'd be awesome. So yeah, that's about it. And like whenever I can, I'm building Votan. I got into the Votan craze. I got the limited edition box.
Yep.
And I warned all my friends that I'll be painting them like they were Imperial Guard from the 90s and 2000s. They all get angry at me. They're like, "How dare you?" And I'm like, "How dare I not?"
Oh, I'm just scrolling through the chat. We've had quite a few people coming in, so I'm just going to wave at a few people that I missed coming through. So feel free to talk away. If I interrupt, it's just to answer questions that I've missed as they've come up through the chat, because I've been painting and everything. But I don't want it to be massive silence. So if you do want to say anything, do go ahead. We've got a few woos. M. Dakak. Do you know him at all, Damien?
Yes, he's one of our guys in our gaming community. He came out and demoed our run for Nebula from Cast and Play and One Page Rules for Fantasy. So yeah, that was great that he came out. Well,
later on, I noticed I scrolled past. He was asking if we were on about the UK Games Expo. And to answer his question, if he's still in the chat, I'm not sure if he is. But yes, it's UK Games, and he said he may be attending. So fingers crossed, he said. Nice. So that'll be awesome. So if he is, we'll be on the Mantic Games stand. So yeah, we're on the Mantic Games stand, so we can get a demo from either myself or Scott.
Have you seen the layout for the expo?
Not yet, no.
You know where our stall is?
Don't tell me it's right at the end or right at the front.
It's right at the front, opposite Warhammer.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So as you
awesome.
Walk in,
I get this feeling that you guys will stand there. I get this feeling that you guys will stand there and just stare at each other through the whole event.
That's it. It'll be like two war lines against each other. Games Workshop with their fantasy coming back, and us with our Kings of War. Yeah, it'll be It'll be interesting.
And
But yeah,
then occasionally just nodding at each other.
yeah,
Just an occasional nod. Hey, he's back. And the cack is back. Hey, buddy.
awesome. So yeah, to answer your question, MDCAC, it is the Games Expo in Birmingham, in the UK, that we'll be at. And if you want to get a demo from us, we'll be demoing Kings of War, Ambush, Armada, and Dead Zone, I believe. So
Yeah,
pop on and we'll say hello and stuff.
I believe
And if I
it's
could,
all
if I could
T8.
just,
Yeah, go ahead.
just
Yeah,
shout something out real quick to all my friends and all the people that are joining us. That I told you guys I'm going to be hanging out with these wonderful gentlemen. Please, please, please follow them and like some of their posts and give them some love because we're all here trying to beat that algorithm and try to get some love going for the hobby. So if you guys are out there and you're watching this, please, 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 especially my students, jump in there and follow them. These guys are really great guys. I love the work they're doing, and it'd be great if we can just kind of support them a little bit and support the community.
absolutely. And it's the same with our followers. Like we've said for the past few lives we've done, we're all in it for the same reason. We're hobbyists. We love the hobby. We're not a big business, anything like that. We are just hobbyists enjoying our hobby with the occasional commission and spreading the hobby love. And Damien over there has got.
And by the way, I have to thank you guys for. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys making shout outs for me. It means a lot to me. You guys never had to do that, and I really appreciate that. I really love you guys for doing that. Thank you.
No,
it literally is, as I say, spreading the hobby love, and you've got some great content that will really help out a lot of people. So, definitely, guys, pop over. If you go to Scholar de War Paint Studio, am I saying it right? If you pop over onto their Instagram account, there's a beacons in there. If you click on that, it's got all their links, including their YouTube and stuff. And seriously, some great.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll throw the beacons thing up there right now. If you don't mind, I'll throw it up.
Go for it. Absolutely. While Damien's doing that, I'll also let you know that Wargaming Old Guys says Goblin snipers are nasty, and that I don't have the snipers. It's actually him that has the snipers. Ha ha ha.
So some sulking after the result.
So I think next time you're at Books and Banter, you need to buy him a milkshake. I think that's the. You've got to butcher him up. Yeah.
Every time you guys say Goblin snipers, I keep thinking of Malifaux.
Malifaux?
No, what is it?
Malifaux.
Yeah, Malifaux from Weird Miniatures. And I keep thinking of the goblins, and that one goblin that's holding the gun backwards and pointing the barrel at his eye.
Yeah, looking down the barrel.
I actually have that one at home. Yeah, I love that one. I actually have that one at home. I want to try to bring it here and do a diorama with it, because I don't think I'm ever going to play Malifaux.
I played a lot of Malifaux, first and second edition.
Do you know what you need to do? Do you know the new assassin on the Sister of Battle sculpt from Games Workshop? You want to replace that assassin with a Goblin sniper.
I'm waiting to see if Wargaming Old Guys was going to reply to that or anything, but no, he's not. He's not said anything, so I don't know if he's still there. Question from Elizabeth Oliver 30 asks if we take commissions from anywhere in the world, and the answer is yes. I've sent commissions to America, to Germany, etc., and I'm currently talking to a gentleman in Australia who, for him, it's actually cheaper for him to buy the product here, for me to buy the product here, paint it and then ship it to him, than it is for him to buy just the product over in Australia, because shipping and all that is just crazy. So yes, we do commissions all over the world.
Yeah, so I've posted loads of stuff on eBay, painting models that I've sold. Done to, oh god, probably about 5 different states in America. I've done Germany, Poland, done Australia, France, I've done Norway, Yeah, I've done all over the place posting it.
Yeah, I'm the same. My painted miniatures are hopefully in loving homes all over the world. So it's yeah. I mean, testament to it. I've never seen them pop up on trade sites or on eBay since I've sold them. So hopefully, you know, they're in a loving collection somewhere.
That is a good sign. That is a very good sign.
It is, yes.
I have one miniature, actually not miniature, I have a bust that I did for a colleague of mine. Her sister is married to a German, and they live up in the mountains, and they live like in a I think it's like an 800-year-old house. And I did this fairy, not fairy, but more so like an elvish storyteller bust for her, and it's now sitting on their bookshelf in Germany, and I'm like, that is just awesome. And I have like pictures of it. My colleague was like, oh, I'm going to take pictures for you and I'll send it to you, and she has like pictures of it all over the house. Like as if like you know, like the old like photograph gnome, like take the lawn gnome and like take it around the world and take pictures of it everywhere. So she's kind of like did that around the house, which was kind of cute. And
nice.
I love that. I appreciated that a lot. So I'm really happy that that's out there. But I think that's the only like exotic place aside from being here in Egypt that some of my painting is sitting somewhere. Sadly, I don't do anything overseas because it's difficult here in Egypt with the shipping. It's quite expensive. So I kind of like just do something locally.
So
shipping's
I
awful.
want to do like giveaways.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say shipping's awful all over. UK, just postage within the UK. You know, mainland is expensive enough, but sending, and now that we've left the EU, there's all import charges and taxes and things for people to pay when they get it their end. So actually, sometimes it's not worth doing. But as I said, that's why I was surprised to find out, even with the massive postage to Australia, it's actually still cheaper for him to buy than with paying for it than it is for him to just buy miniatures. So it's crazy.
So I benefit from, with my eBay as well, I signed up for international shipping.
Yeah.
And they do this thing of where you sign up for international, well, not international shipping, international selling. So sell it like all over the world, not just the UK. And when you're on them sales, you post it to an eBay depot in the UK. So you're only paying the UK postage, and then they ship it to wherever it's sold.
Yeah.
So, and lucky for us, the eBay shipping distribution centre for us is Fradley.
Yeah.
So it's not too expensive for me to ship my stuff when it's sold. And once they do it, they cover all the insurance, and if it gets lost from them to the what's it, then they deal with it all.
Yeah.
So literally, once Hart posted it and they've received it at the depot, that's my sales transaction complete.
Yeah.
That's classed as delivered to the customer. So that works pretty well.
No, that is good. I appear to have got more paint on my fingers than anywhere else. I'm sure that's a tradition, though. I'm sure you're not really truly painting unless you paint yourself. And yes, I use the best palette in the world, just as Damien does, which is the thumb palette. It is the best. Yeah. Don't care what anybody says. Use your thumbs.
One of the cutest things was when my wife and I were talking online before we got married and before I moved here. She had our son with a previous marriage, so I was sending her pictures of what I was working on and doing, and I sent a picture of the palette I had on my thumb, and I actually had painted, like I had dots of paint all over my actual thumbnail because I was mixing and I was trying to remove a lot of excess paint and stuff like that. And her son saw it, and he was little at the time. He looks at her and he goes, with all sincerity, he's like, "He must be a giant. That's his palette." It was so cute. I was like, "Oh, that kid, he has no idea." I'm going to corrupt him with miniature painting.
No, it's fantastic. As I say, people frown on it, and I don't understand why. It's a totally legitimate tool to have in your arsenal. Is the thumb palette?
Oh yeah, God yeah.
I suppose that is if you're lucky enough to have thumbs, opposable thumbs. No offence to anyone that doesn't, but it is a legitimate tool for your arsenal.
It's that moment where we all stand there and the person laughs at us and we're like, no, we're being serious.
Yes, yeah. Deadly serious.
I'm not
deadly
laughing.
Serious. Welcome to the new guys that are joining the chat at the moment. Thank you for joining us. I am Head Skull from Iron Skull Gaming. If I hand over to Scott, who are you, Scott?
I'm Scott from Palette of War.
And if I hand over to Damien, Damien, you are?
I'm Scholar D from Warpaint Studios.
And we're really happy that you've joined our chat. It literally is just a hobby hangout. We're just having a chat while we do a bit of hobby. Having a laugh and reminiscing about early days in the hobby and things like that. Also talking about what we're working on at the moment. If you have any questions, do put them in the chat. I can see in the chat that people are, hanging out with us and asking as well. So in the background of the picture, there is the Excel ship for my Northern Alliance Armada. And then further forward, there's this fellow. This is the Wargames Atlantic upcoming release, which is for the Damned, and this is a brute.
Nice.
What time are we on?
The expo.
Second, sorry. Yes, they are at the expo. I think. Yeah, I believe they're at the expo. Well, I'll ask Charlie and Gaz tomorrow to make sure, so we can maybe on our break pop over to them and have a proper chat and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, by then it'll be on GameFound as well, so that'll be really good. We are at the 9:30 mark. As I say, I only kind of can stay on for about an hour, but what I was going to suggest is if, Scott, you wanted to stay on for any longer, feel free to start a live and hang out for longer with Damien. But I do have to shoot off, unfortunately. But it's been an absolute pleasure, Damien. Would you consider joining us again for another chat, maybe in a couple of weeks' time or next week or anything like that?
Absolutely, I would love to. Absolutely. I mean, nothing better than having like a chat and paint session, because it definitely helps you keep working on stuff, and it makes you feel like you're not alone in that process. It's just nice to have someone to chat with about anything. So definitely, I'd love to join you guys again.
Yeah. So I think we'll plan to go live same time next Tuesday evening, if that's okay, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go live next Tuesday evening at around 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and it'll be the three of us. So I'll put an advert up and everything for it, and then I think you can share that and do all that kind of wonderful stuff with your guys. But it'd be really great to see the people that have been in the chat join us again. That'd be really fantastic. And thank you for joining us and spending your time. It's been fantastic.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate this. I love this. This was a lot of fun.
No, definitely. Hopefully next week I might be able to stay on for a bit longer, maybe an hour and a half. But I do appreciate, Damien, that it is later for you there. So if you need to drop out, earlier, that is fine. It's just this week, unfortunately, with a poorly lady friend and itchy eyes myself. It's probably best I call it before I get too uncomfortable. So.
I got a school night. I got to be up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready for school. Actually, even earlier than that. So I'm cool with that. That's totally fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hassan has joined the chat, and I just wanted to say thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, we are coming to an end, but we will be back next week with Damien and Scott from 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm the cat. Glad you enjoyed it. And hopefully see you next week in the chat. If not, we'll see you at the expo. So, yeah, I'll say good night to everyone. And we'll see you next week at around 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on Tuesday.
You will.
Awesome. See you later, guys.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye.
See you later. Bye.